Which Linux distro should I get? This is the first question every person new to Linux asks. I see someone new asking this same question again literally every day. So if you're new to Linux or never used the Linux before, the short answer is get Linux Mint. And I will tell you why in this video. I am Stray F and you're watching SkateCode. Yes, you can get any other Linux distro, but you're wondering, you need advice, and I'm telling you, get Mint. Alright, before explaining why you should get Mint, we need to clarify a few other questions you are currently confused about. And immediately I would like to point out, this video is for people with little Linux experience and for people who never used the Linux before, so I will not get into technical details and I will talk in a very generic way. With this in mind, let's go. First of all, what is a distro? Very short answer. Distro is a short for distribution, and a Linux distribution is just a version of Linux, or to be more precise, we call them flavors. Question: how many Linux distros do exist? Short answer: damn many. We are talking much more than 100. And here comes the first very confusing question every Linux newbie asks. Okay, but why are there so many distros? Why can't there be just one or two? And what is the difference between all of them? And these are actually three questions, but we can answer the first two in a single answer. Yes, every Microsoft Windows version have just few basic flavors, and they are all easy to distinguish because they have the names of the group of people they are targeted to. For example, it is easy to realize that Windows 10 Home Edition is for personal home computers to use at home, while Linux 10 Professional Edition is geared more for small offices. Windows 10 Enterprise is for the big companies, while Windows 10 Education is for schools. This is all okay, but it is a bit restrictive. Let me explain. Imagine that there is only one vehicle factory existing in the world. Let's call it Acme Vehicles, or AV for short. And now imagine AV produces only 3 vehicle types. One car for families, one small truck, one large truck, and one instructor type car for when people learn to drive with an instructor. Okay, but what if you need a sporty car because you want to race, or what if you need a digging machine? Well, AV does not produce such vehicles. Now imagine something else. Imagine you are comfortable at home and you watch TV, but your TV have only 2 channels. And actually, that was the reality of my childhood because I grew up in a communist country in Eastern Europe. You want to watch a music television? You can't. There is no such TV. So this is restrictive. But now imagine the reality we live in. There are so many vehicle makers. There is BMW, Mercedes, Fiat, Ford, Toyota, Nissan, and many more. And each of them makes so many vehicle types, and each vehicle type is somehow different from the same vehicle type of another car maker. For example, Nissan Sentra, Mazda 3, Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, and Subaru Impreza, for example, are all cars from the same class, and still all of them so different in the features they offer and the construction type. And now imagine how many TV channels exist today. You can watch news on Euronews, or news on BBC, or news on CNN, or music on MTV, or a movie on HBO, or a movie on a streaming platform like Netflix or Hulu. You have tons of choices. And this is a great thing because this is the freedom to choose, not being restricted. And now you understand. This is the reason why there are so many Linux distros existing today. And now the difference. Very generally speaking, there are Linux distros for the large companies, and we call them enterprise distros. There are distros for home use on home computers, and we call them desktop distros. There are some specifically for schools, but there are also some which are made specifically to do a certain task. Also, there are very few made specifically for gamers, and there are many other types. Now, let's clarify a very basic and important difference between the desktop distros and the enterprise distros. Enterprise distros not only are packed with tools more geared towards professionals, but also get updates less frequently, because the main purpose of the enterprise distros is stability. I want you to remember this. A very important feature of the enterprise is to ensure the business continuity. Therefore, infrastructure stability, such as software and hardware stability, are crucial here. On the other hand, home users care more to get the latest and greatest. For example, the latest version of that video processing software, which was just released with new cool video effects you really want to put in your next video. No problem, you will get it. Another aspect of the home users is that home users tend to get new hardware more often. So, you just got a brand new model laptop with a brand new model video card. However, you will need also the newest version of this video card driver, which is packed for the home distro, but will not be packed for an enterprise class distro. And this is very important to understand and remember. Okay, with all this cleared, let's finally get more specific. I already hear your next question. Which are the desktop distros? Well, I will not tell you all of them. I will tell you just the few which are the most common. These are Fedora, Debian, Ubuntu, Mint, and I think we can also add SUSE. Maybe I am missing someone, but these are what immediately comes to my mind. And if you remember the beginning of this video, I recommended you to get Linux Mint. And why is that? Remember the part when I explained about that new laptop and the new video card driver? Reason number one is Mint is one of the distros packed with the most drivers out of the box. So by getting Mint, you guarantee yourself less problems during installation. Because it happened to me that even on a not so new model laptop, some distros failed to install. Usually most problems could be fixed, but if you are new to Linux or never used the Linux before, better stay away from this and avoid it. Another reason is Mint is very user-friendly. Most newbies start now with Mint and love it. So basically, this is the final answer from me to you. Get Linux Mint. The Linux Mint official website is www.linuxmint.com. Now we must discuss a little but very important detail. When you decide to download and install a Linux distro, you will be given a choice of which graphical environment to install with it. Choices here will be things like XFCE, Mate, LXQT and others. And usually it's here many newbies scream out of confusion what the hell this is, what's the difference, and which one to choose. Very generally speaking, a graphic environment is how your Linux will look like and what basic tools will be packed with it. Like what file manager, what notepad, like text editor and more. Another difference is how much memory these environments use, how do they visualize on the screen too. And this is why I cannot use words here. What you need to do is to look at some screenshots. However, speaking of Linux Mint, my recommendation is to get the environment which is packed by default with the distro. Don't think too much on it. Just download, install and enjoy. Important to mention also is that there are some distros offering bare-bone installations, which means no graphical environment will be available and installed. So, all you would see on the screen would be a big black screen with a command prompt. And the great thing here is, it will be lightning fast to download, install and use. Problem is, if you're new to Linux, better get something which won't be that alien to you. Also, to be honest with you, I will show you the website where you can go and see what other Linux distros exist. The website is called DistroWatch. The URL for the website is www.distrowatch.com. This is a very old website full of news and useful information about the Linux world. The thing here I want you to look at is this table at the right on the website. What you can see here is the current top 100 most popular Linux distros sorted by popularity descending. Remember, these are not all distros that exist in the world. These are only the 100 most popular. And you can click on each one and it will show you more details, such as the official distro website, if this is a derivative of another distro, who are the authors, and very important, a gallery with some screenshots, so you can see how it looks like. I recommend this website to all people new to Linux as a great source of information. When most people decide to try a new distro, they usually choose a distro from the top 5. I am sure you want to ask me which Linux distro do I personally use on my home computer. The answer is, on this very laptop, I'm using only Ubuntu. However, on my other laptop, I'm using Debian in a combination with Windows 10. And I have another very old laptop which have a super old version of Ubuntu in a combination with Windows XP, so you can imagine how old this laptop is. I know, some of you would ask, what do you mean you're using Linux in a combination with Windows? Well, basically on a computer you can have one or more operating systems installed, and when you turn on or restart the computer you can choose which one to use. If on a computer there are only just 2 operating systems, we say this computer is a dual boot. So yes, while on my current laptop I'm having only Ubuntu, my other 2 laptops are dual boots with Linux and Windows. And I know, when you are about to do this for the first time, you will be very scared not to damage the Windows. But trust me, it's doable and it's not scary. However, this is not a topic of this video, so I am stopping here. Your next question would be, what do I need to install Linux? I would say, you don't immediately need to install it. First of all, get 3 or 4 flash memory sticks. Most distros will recommend that 2 GB are enough, so get any sticks with capacity larger than 2 GB. Then you need to download the Linux distro image file. Then you need to put it on the memory stick and make the memory stick bootable. Basically, the idea is that just like when you buy a new car, you want first to get in the car and test it, to drive for like 10 minutes or more and see if you like the car. This here is the same idea. You will put the distro on your memory stick, then you will boot the operating system from the memory stick and spend some time using it. And if you decide you like it, then you can decide to finally install it on your computer. There is also a way to use the operating system without even installing it. A full-blown operating system on a memory stick. Can you imagine that? Of course, there are details on how to do that, but these are not topic of this video, so I am stopping here. Now go and download your new Linux Mint. I am Stray F, you're watching SkateCode. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.